The hardest part about creating is usually just starting. A lot of people, including myself, often consume information endlessly because creating can feel psychologically vulnerable. I realized that I was spending more time preparing to create than actually creating. That can lead to a lot of regret. Researching endlessly, overthinking equipment, comparing myself to others, watching instead of building. I keep telling myself that I'll start once I have the right setup, more clarity, more confidence, but the starting somehow never happens. We have avoidance disguised as preparation, consumption as emotional comfort, perfectionism as a form of self-protection. But as a therapist, I have realized a lot of self-doubt doesn't actually stop people from creating. Avoidance does. The comfort of consumption can have a pretty good hold on you because we condition ourselves to do so. I noticed I was stuck in preparation mode, consuming content, researching endlessly, optimizing before acting, waiting for certainty. Information became a substitute for action. Preparation can feel safer than execution because execution exposes us to judgment. The self-doubt, fear of being seen, perfectionism, comparisons, and identity protection. All of these forms of resistance can hold us back from engaging in what is truly meaningful or valuable to us. There's a sense of attachment to, personally, staying invisible. And the comfort that comes with that. But being able to detach from caring about being seen can be very freeing if you're willing to take those initial steps. Sometimes perfectionism isn't about high standards, it's about emotional protection. But then it can also limit our growth, as well as what we could become. If you never fully try, you never fully fail. And if you want to become successful at something, it has to be in an area that you're willing to fail at repeatedly, because you'll learn, gain experience, and be able to make good, beneficial, progressive iterations towards the next step or the next milestone of success. Regarding consumption versus creation, there's infinite doom scrolling, endless learning, podcast videos, productivity content. This might fall into that category. Feeling mentally stimulated but not fulfilled. Consumption can feel productive because your brain mistakes input for progress. And creation requires uncertainty, vulnerability, and imperfection. Creation forces you to confront yourself. Some insecurities, some areas of improvement. But in the end, growth will be inevitable. And through consumption, you don't get better at scrolling. I guess you can get better at researching and finding things, but knowledge not used or utilized in some forms can be a waste. Regarding an identity shift, waiting to become confident first, realizing confidence follows repetition. You get that evidence and you don't need belief because you have tangible evidence of what you are capable of through action, not just through planning or thinking. You don't become a creator by thinking like one, but instead by creating long enough. So being able to detach from comparisons, specific outcomes, validation. Creation can often feel like play. It can feel lighter, less things on our mind that are weighing us down. Often resulting in potentially your best works, best ideas. But it really depends on why you are creating, if you value it enough. That would be ideal for guidance regarding if you will have regrets or if the time you will invest will be worth it. Not every pursuit is worth the time investment. Therefore, it does take some planning, but ultimately it does take action. Clarity came after action, not before it. I want this channel to explore peace, health, freedom, psychology, intentional living, discipline, mental clarity, and overcoming consumption to have the freedom to create. This video will not be perfect. That's the point. I have to accept myself. My future self will definitely look back on this and think, that was cringe, that was rough, could have done this, that, and the third better, but another side of me will be glad that I took the first uncomfortable step, because that is often the start of growth in anything that is worth value. The more something has resistance, or the more something evokes resistance in you, it can be direction for what we deem the most valuable in our lives. The first step towards freedom is simply becoming someone who stops waiting. Freedom can be built, it can be grown. The freedom to is an investment in the freedom from, requires removal, detachment, letting go of distractions. And that's where purpose and direction can emerge. You have reached the end of this video. If something resonated with you, consider leaving a comment below and sharing what felt most impactful. To support the channel, you can like, subscribe, and/or share this video with someone who you feel might also benefit. Additional ways to support the channel can be found in the links in the description below. You will also find a link to my website, cravingfreedom.com, where you can access my ebooks. On the website, you can also find descriptions of what to expect from the ebooks. And if you feel ready to commit to your path towards freedom and are seeking in-depth guidance and support, consider applying for one-on-one coaching. Answers to frequently asked questions can also be found on the website. Thank you for your time.